Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I am James.
And there's no special guest this week. So, just the two of us.
Yep. If you're not happy, you're stuck with us. Yeah. If you are happy, you're stuck with us.
Yay! And if you're happy and you know it, clap your pants.
Clap your pants?
Crap your pants.
Oh, crap your pants.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm probably getting to that stage. Give it time.
Yeah. I think we all are, so never mind. Got to do anything to just, like, you know, brighten up lockdown, really, haven't you?
If crapping yourself improves your lockdown, feel free to crap yourself.
So, James, how have you been?
Yeah, you don't want to know. Basically, listeners, salty tadpoles, whatever you want to. You do not want to know. I'm hitting a. All I'll say is I may sound rather chipper, but I'm hitting a bit of a dip at the moment. But hopefully I'll soar like the eagle and get out a bit. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And just for the record, they're always salty tadpoles. They sometimes are tadpoles. They're always tadpoles of some variation, though. They're never humans.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, definitely not. None of our listener base is what you would term quote unquote human. No. Or quote unquote normal.
Well, I mean, I want them to not be normal. Neither of us are normal, James.
Oh, good God. How very true. Normal is a dot on the horizon when it comes to me.
Yes.
I don't know how I'd define normalcy. It ain't this man. That's all I could say.
No, definitely not. I'm just thinking,
You're trying to think, how could you describe normal?
No, I can't. I am surrounded myself by so much abnormal, I have no idea what normal is, so, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's how I want life to be. Weird and abnormal. That's great. That's perfect for me. So, I'm just trying to think if I've had anything fun happen this week or anything like that, but other than my body being able to heal a lot faster than a typical diabetic, which is really good.
So you're like a superhuman, a mutant with powers.
I am. Yes. Yeah, I like that. I'm a mutant.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
Back of the net.
So my sort of wound is healed up pretty well now. Still got a plaster on just as precaution. A dressing, sorry, not a plaster. But, you know, that's more of a comfort thing, I think, at this stage. It's not really necessary, so.
That's good. That is, and it sounds strange to say that's good, but it is good. Yeah. If it's healing up and less, and if you're just using the plaster as a bit of a comfort thing. Yeah. That is good. That's a very good sign.
Yeah, definitely. And my doggy came home this week as well.
Oh.
Yeah, because Graham, my mum's boyfriend, he had to go back to his house for a bit and took the dog with him. And, oh, God, I thought that I'd lost my left arm. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, where's my doggy?
Oh, dear. Well, it's nice to see that you like him and he's settled in okay.
Yeah.
And he's become like one of the family.
Yes, he definitely has. So that was good. But yeah, and to be honest, nothing really else has happened other than a few things that are my codswallops. Did you want to get into what load of codswallop first, James? Or did you...
Absolutely. No, go on. What was the other option?
Yeah, I was going to say, or there was another topic, because I know how much you like walking, so it's related to that.
Yes.
did you want... Let's do that first, actually. Let's make a decision.
Yes.
Right, so we all know how much you love walking, James.
Yes, I do.
How does a walk stretching across Africa, Asia and Europe sound to you? It is a continuous walk.
Sort of sounds like it's going to kill me.
Well, I mean, you might as well go out with a bang, eh?
Well, that's true. I mean, I think it'd be more like, collapse, not a bang. But, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the world's largest walk is from Cape Town in South Africa to Russia, and the route is 22,387 kilometers, which hypothetically stands to take 587 days to cover if you walked 8 hours daily. There you go.
Yeah, I think I'll give that a miss.
Yeah, you don't like walking that much, but it's actually...
I'm clearly a pussy. I'll give that a miss.
That's what I thought. The crazy thing about this is that you would go through 17 countries if you walked it, and you'd also go through 6 different time zones, and you would also experience several different seasons and weathers as well, which is just insane. That's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It is mind-boggling. It's on a lower scale, a far more minuscule scale. I do consider the fact that still, it's when you think about how things can suddenly change over a period of time, and still there's always a little part of me in the back of my mind that finds it amazing that you can hop on an airplane in only a few hours be in another country.
Yeah.
You look at it and you actually think about it. So say I go to Germany in, say, an hour or thereabouts, maybe a little more, I can be in another country, same day, in such a short space of time.
It is so insane, isn't it? It is so insane.
It is. When you really look back at it and consider it, it's quite an amazing thing, really, to think. But we take it take it for granted. Probably will... it hammers home more, I guess, in the times of, COVID, because we can't really go anywhere or do anything.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be seen as being a bit more important as time goes on. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, you are right, because it's like, be on a plane for 30 minutes and go to Ireland. I mean, that's technically a different country, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So
it is. It's very true.
It is weird. And it is weird when you go to see on a longer flight and you wake up and you have to then change your clock to a time that was, mid-afternoon when it should be 11 o'clock at night or whatever.
Yep. When you've gone through, different time zones entirely into really big different time zones. Quite an amazing thing, yeah. Quite an amazing thing.
Yeah. There you go. This week's episode is brought to you by time travel.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. So, Salty Tadpoles, if you're still here, congratulations. I've not caused you to go into a coma with boredom.
Not yet.
Give me some more time. I'll try my best.
Oh, dear. Well, not all episodes are going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm always great, but...
That's true.
Oh, well, in that case then, so that you've chickened out on your long walk, so...
I have.
Yeah, I think we should get into some codswallops then, James. Have you got any? No.
What's pissed me off, other than the usual stuff, which is really, really slow drivers,
yeah,
I have been racking my brains for things that have been codswallopy, but I cannot think of any really obvious ones off the top of my head, I'm afraid. There probably was something, but I can't think of it. So, so unsurprisingly, Gemma, it's over to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, so again, you've let us down then, James. Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much. But you think you'd be used to this by now.
Oh, I definitely am. There's no new surprises.
Absolutely. That's the way we like it.
Well, to make up for James' lack of, I have 3.
Cool.
One of them is a follow-on, so you may know from that what I'm saying. And I've been holding on to this one since the last time we recorded. So, you remember a little while ago that I received a horrible letter in the post about a parking fine?
Bastards.
Yeah, triple bastards now because they made me pay. I was not happy. I was just fuming because they were like, there is not enough evidence to support your claims of buying a ticket. Because I obviously couldn't send a ticket. So I had to pay the 60 quid. So on a plus side, it hadn't gone up to £100 because it was still being under the appeal process. But still.
That's true.
It was 60 quid. So that car parking space that I only needed for half an hour, and I had to pay for an hour, cost me £61.
Absolutely shocking.
I know. Yeah, I was so pissed off when I got that letter in the post, but I also kind of half expected it as well.
That's the sad thing. It's not a shocker, but they're clearly just an absolute bunch of rogues and con artists.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're just out to get every penny that they can.
Maybe I should start my own parking firm.
That would be a good idea.
Buy a bit of land.
Yeah.
And just clamp cars left, right, and centre.
Or you could go into business and you actually get a load of different parking places and take them over, sort of thing. So think up a company and just go over and take over all the other companies.
Yep. Codswallop Clamping. There you go.
Oh, I like it. I like it. But again, can I have a pass for this though? So that always, I can just beep it and I can always park for free.
I'll lull you into false sense of security and give you a pass for a few weeks.
I see. So you're going to be like all the other bastards then, are you, James? Friendship doesn't mean nothing to you.
It's when like your car's been towed and crushed. And you go, what have you done? I go, that 20 quid meant a lot to me, I take my money very seriously.
Oh, what an asshole.
It'd be like Mr. Burns, wouldn't it, when he's getting the car messages?
Yeah.
You have so many minutes to move your car. You have so many minutes to move your car. You have so many minutes to move your cube.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, I think it's when Homer's working as his assistant. It's like he's reading notes and he's going, you have half an hour to move your car. You have half an hour before your car is turned into a cube. And then it's like, your car has been turned into a cube. The phone rings and Mr. Burns is like, is it about my cube?
No, I definitely haven't seen that episode, so I need to look that one up.
Hunt that one down.
Yeah, I will do. Is it one of the sort of earlier ones or one of the later ones?
I think it's reasonably early.
Reasonably early.
Yeah.
Okay, I will hunt that out. So I've got a week off coming up, so you never know. I might just waste it watching The Simpsons. We're not wasting it because The Simpsons are amazing, but...
Well, exactly. Yeah. And there's not exactly much you can do.
Well, yeah. I mean, it beats tidying my room, doesn't it?
True.
Okay, so my second codswallop is that there is a woman every morning, and I mean every morning, well, not every morning, but Monday to Friday, who is taking her children on a school run. So every morning between 8 and 8:30,
right,
she's shouting at the top of her lungs down our road, which is already a quiet road. So it's like... Every noise booms. Oh my God, this woman's voice, it just goes right through you. It's horrible, horrible voice. And she's always like, oh, James, can you do such and such? Oh, Joseph, no. Like that.
So she has no parenting skills.
No, yeah, she definitely has no parenting skills. Yeah, it's just literally, I went out for a cigarette this morning because, like, that was sort of the time that I tend to go out for a cigarette because I start work at 9. Yeah, she actually walked past and I sort of glared at her, like, I had my hood up, so I don't know if she really saw me glaring and that, but, still, I knew I'd done it. Glared at her, like, just be more quiet.
Yeah, let her tyres down.
Yeah, I mean, she was walking, so I can't really do that.
Oh, right. Does she walk? Wait, does she run a kid? Does she drive a kid to school or walk them to school?
Yeah, she's walking them to school. So basically, our road, it's quite common actually that a lot of parents walk our road because it's like off the main road. So it's a safer one for them to walk along.
Okay, yeah.
Which is obviously fair enough. You've got to think about your safety and safety of your children and whatnot. But yeah, just have a bit of common courtesy and consideration that people might still be asleep.
Yeah, it doesn't really fill you full of much hope for the kids, does it, when they get older?
No, exactly. So, yeah, it's like a chav has born a chav, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not very good.
No.
Not very good.
So, if I hear that woman's voice during my week off, I might go out there and just, I don't know, shout at her and go, shut up!
Well, the bad news is you probably will hear her voice booming. So therefore, you'll have to make your decision on what you do.
Well, on a plus side, my bedroom is the second one in. So it's like my mum's bedroom first at the front of the house, and then my room is right next door.
Yep.
You know, although I've got the windows and whatnot, the window is at the side of the house, so my wonderful view is of a brick wall. And yes, and I love it. But, you know, there we go. Again, weirdo. So I probably won't hear her as much, but oh my God, horrible woman. I don't like her. Don't like her at all. Don't even know her and I don't like her.
It was subtle. You dislike her. It was very subtle. I had to read between the lines that you didn't like. I mean, it was tough. It was tough. I'm sure the salty tadpole's like, I'm on the fence. Does she like her? Does she not like her?
Well, I can confirm, just so that I can make it obvious and definite, I fucking hate that bitch.
I was just so unsure.
Well, now you know.
Hush, hush, hush.
Yeah. Again, so that kind of happened this morning as well, so it just reminded me. And my third and final Codswallop is one that I'm actually struggling. It's sort of like it's a Codswallop because I'm a bit annoyed by it, but also I'm really worried about it.
Okay.
Which is, my manager said that probably sort of around August time, we're going to be returning back to the office.
Dang.
And yeah, I actually had to, I sent my manager an email today saying about how I felt about it, really, because I found this out on Tuesday this week. So, you know, over the last couple of days, I've really, really been worrying about it. And it's kind of like my anxiety's been through the roof about it, because not only is it like the COVID related stuff, like, will we all be sat in the same place, or will we be moved around so that we are still socially distanced or whatever? But it's also the fact that when I'm in the office, my nature is, well, first of all, I'm quite sensitive. I know it's hard to believe when I'm sort of larking around, but, you know, I am a real sensitive soul that I will pick up all atmospheres. Because it's an open planned office, majority of the time it's like a negative atmosphere in there.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, I'm going more and more negative. So I'm using up more energy trying to keep myself happy and others around me happy by lifting their spirits and being all jolly and, you know, office clown sort of thing. You know, like I wrote this in the email sort of thing. It's just that I don't want to have to deal with that. After I've been working from home for so long, I just want it to continue, and I don't think it's gonna. So I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm a bit stressed out, but, you know, and I just don't want to go back. I love my job and I love the company I work for, but I really don't want to go back to that office. So.
And has your manager got back to you at all?
She has. She gave me a call today and she said, firstly, please don't worry about it at the moment, because it's not set in stone that it's definitely going to happen yet.
Yeah.
So she said, please don't worry about it until I need to worry about it.
Yes.
But, yeah, she said, I can't at the moment answer your questions. You know, there was a few that I asked because, you know, they were obviously on my mind. But she said what she has done is she sent it over to the HR manager, who will look into it as well. And there was another thing that I wrote as well, remembering now, that my mental and physical health has been a lot better working from home. Like, I've hardly had any sick days since working from home, because because my immune system's quite low. So if anyone walks in with a cold or whatever, I pretty much a couple of days later and I'll have that cold.
Yeah.
So it's like, not fantastic. It's not been, it wasn't great news. So I wish you hadn't have told me, to be honest.
No, I can understand it. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to find this is a real problem they're going to face. Not only the fact that people probably got used to the idea of working from home. Yeah. It'll be this complete change in the atmosphere. And one thing that I'll be interested to see in general is, will a lot of businesses actually properly open up? Because I think you're going to find a lot of places where they work out they don't have to keep sending people into a place of work to do business. So maybe they'll find some middle ground for you. Like, maybe you can work certain days in the office and certain days from home.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it'll be a possibility.
Yeah, or just once a month they go into the office or whatever, you know, like if there's a meeting or whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I am, because to be honest, like I said, that, you know, I love joking around and I love, you know, my sense of humour and whatnot. And I, you know, like that for the most part is me 24 hours a day, you know. With this, I knew that I had to be serious and I needed to express myself to her, you know. And I thought, if I write it in an email, sometimes when I'm speaking, it doesn't always come out straight away, you know, the way I mean it. So when you write things down, it usually comes out right, doesn't it?
It's true. It gives you some time to think about things, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, obviously, it's not until August anyway, so I've got, a bit of time to enjoy still working from home, and next week I'm off anyway, so it's all good. But, yeah, I am a little bit better now that I've had the conversation with her, though.
Good.
Yeah.
And I shall keep my fingers crossed that it pans out how it should do for you.
Yeah, definitely. And also just to sort of say, because obviously if there's any tadpoles out there that you like, sort of sitting there thinking, oh, well, at least you didn't lose your job during the pandemic or anything like that. Like in regards to them people, it's like, I am sorry that you have lost your job, and I'm not complaining that I've got a job that I have to go into the office for or whatever. It's more my concerns around it rather than, actually physically going into the office is my concern rather than anything else.
Well, I shall keep my fingers and toes and eyes and everything crossed to the max.
Okay, brilliant. Well, that's going to be a weird couple of months for you to sort of walk around and...
It'll make driving interesting.
It will actually, won't it? Like you'll see two cars rather than one car.
Bouncing off walls, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Is that a person or is that a pillar? So, yeah, that's my Codswallops this week. So, yes, some frustrating, that stupid bitch, and return to work. So, there we go.
Double thumbs up.
Yeah, triple thumbs. I had the COVID vaccine. I've got a third thumb now. Did you know that?
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
you'll be the envy of hitchhikers across the world.
I know. It's like really big as well, so like people can see it from anywhere. China.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah. Other strange thing that happened this week.
Okay.
Or last week, sorry, was, and I kind of alluded to it already via message to you, was that there was a bit of a Zune moment, which you didn't understand what I was talking about, did you, when I said that?
Well, I kind of did in the fact that I'd heard Soon mentioned on TSD.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest, I don't actually know what it is.
Oh, okay.
So...
Well, it's just what they say at the end of their paranormal episodes.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if you realised that or not, so that's why I didn't.
Nope.
I would have told you off mic then. Sorry, but anyway.
All right.
Yeah, I think it was last Saturday. So just. Everybody, we're kind of doing this podcast early, so if you think it's last Saturday, it wasn't. It was about 3 weeks ago. We are having a little break, but we wanted to leave you with some content. I was sat in my car, and I was just parked up normal and about ready to sort of drive off and whatnot. All of a sudden, there was this massive bang, and the car shook. And I thought, yeah, I thought it felt as though almost like, because there was a car that was sort of directly behind me, it was almost like that car had, instead of reversing to get out of the space, they'd driven forward and driven into the back of me, It was really, really loud, and it was really, really, it really, really shook the car, and I was just like, but then... When I looked, there was nothing. No one was around, but then there was also other people sort of looking as well. So I was like, oh, that was a bit weird. Just thought nothing of it. Got home and my mum goes to me, did you hear that loud bang about 20 minutes ago? And the ground shook. So I was like, yeah, I did. But, again, I didn't put anything to, I just was like, well, maybe, 'cause where we are, it's kind of like overlooking, or in the far, far distance, you can kind of see like the harbour kind of thing. So it's got, not harbour, sorry, it's kind of the sea, but it's more inland sea, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Where we've got like a couple of like cranes and things like that are, they're doing work. So just kind of put it down to that.
Mm-hmm.
But then she went on to say that she had gone onto Facebook and she'd seen loads of posts about it. The fact that, loads of people had heard it. And turns out from Portland, which is about 15-minute drive away from where I live, to parts of Devon. So it covered like 2 counties basically, or the below parts of the counties anyway. Everybody heard this loud bang at the exact same time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was a bit creepy at first, and everyone was trying to work out what it was. There was speculation that it could have been the Air Force trying out a plane sort of thing, which is that article that I sent to you originally.
Yeah. Even when I took the piss and said they're not used to planes round it.
Yeah. So basically it was like a sonic boom type thing, which had happened. So that was, what we thought it was. Other people were thinking it's like an earthquake because, again, it was, really shook the ground. And then other people were, just saying it was aliens and whatnot. Yeah, they're all crazy people as well. Turns out the alien people weren't that crazy.
That will be a first.
Yeah, for once they weren't that crazy. Well, they were closest to the solution anyway. Because it actually turned out that a massive meteorite had come down and obviously had dispersed slightly, but it landed basically near Bristol.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right there.
Oh, right there? Yeah. Ooh, are.
Right there, my lover.
I thought it were a pig on roof. But no, it's just insane because it's like, so this meteorite has it landed to Earth in the south coast of England. It's just the fact, it really mind boggles and baffles me, the fact that every person, well, not every person, obviously some people didn't hear it at all, but that everybody who did hear it all heard it exactly the same time.
That is quite amazing. And it also makes you wonder that if something larger hit, what would happen? How bad would the outcome be, though? Because if something like that just creates a bit of a shake and, loud noise, something larger.
Yeah.
Wow. That really would be something.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was in my car, handbrake on, because I was parked, and it jolted my car enough for it to feel as though the car behind me had driven into me.
Which is quite shocking.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, that is quite shocking and telling.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm assuming there were no terrible fallout from this. Nobody's been hurt or anything.
Not that I've seen on the news or anything like that. So I think, it'd be quite a big news story if it was the case. But they did say that if you do see any little black rocks anywhere, that's probably the meteorite. But my mum my mum found this out afterwards, after she'd been to the beach with her fella and they were throwing stones into the water and they were all black. And I was like,
yes.
Oh, Mum, we could have been millionaires. Damn it.
Well,
Yeah.
these things happen.
Yeah. So there you go. So Jurassic Coast meets the meteorites.
It's something.
Yeah.
It's certainly something.
It still blows my mind, though, that, just more the fact that people heard it at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. I totally understand what you mean, because it is quite a thing to think the impact this has had on so many people in such a short space of time as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was funny though, because I put it on Facebook. I said, something along the lines of, did anyone hear that big bang about 20 minutes ago? Any ideas what it was, kind of thing. Jamie Westwood was my first response. I love him.
Bless him. Go on, what did he say?
He said, I'm sorry I fell over. I absolutely roared.
I like it. That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good man, Jamie. Good man.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Wait, hang on. When he said he fell over flagrante with the bike again?
Might be with the bike again. He does like that thing up his arse, it seems.
Hey, Jamie, whatever makes you happy, pal.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
Yes, exactly. If you like a bike up your bum, you carry on, mate. 2021, you do whatever you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and my youngest niece, who turned 20 just recently, which scares me a little bit that I've got a niece that's that old. Not that she's old, 20 is not old, but you know what I mean? I'm still young to have a 20-year-old, but.
Good. You dug your way out of that well. I like it.
I did. I don't think she listens, so it's all good. But she turned around to me and she goes, it's something to do with a sonic boom. I had to Google it. It had nothing to do with Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm impressed that she knows who Sonic the Hedgehog is.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, but it's probably my brother who's introduced that to her. Yeah.
Schooled her. Yeah, schooled her in the ways of the hedgehog.
I'd like to hope so. Although Sonic the Hedgehog, when When was he last about?
God knows. They made some film, didn't they? A year or two ago. Well, I assume it's a year or two ago. I can't remember anything anymore. And I was listening to something on the radio. And it's not a program I really watch, but Mastermind,
Yeah.
TV program. They're saying, yes, John Humphries is leaving. And I only thought he'd been on it a few years. He'd been on the show for 18 years as host. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
what? I thought he'd only been on like 4 years or something. Oh, dear.
Oh,
Oh, dear,
wow.
oh, dear.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a bit of sad news this week as well, haven't we?
We have. That George Segal had died, who is, well, for most people, he's probably now known for playing the grandfather, Pops,
Yeah.
on the Goldbergs. But the first thing I ever knew him from, ever, Look Who's Talking.
What was he in that then?
He was the kid's dad. He had an affair with Kirstie Alley's character. And they had Mikey, and the kid, which was his son. And that's the first thing I ever knew him from.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I definitely didn't put two and two together because, like you said, I know him from the Goldbergs. If I looked into his history of films and TV programs and whatnot, I'd probably know him from a lot more than that, to be honest. But yeah, it was a big shock because it's just like, oh, it's like, how are we going to carry on with the Goldbergs without him?
Well, I suspect they'll hit it with like a dose of reality of maybe discussing, because Pops, in reality had dementia and things and he was not well. So I suspect they'll probably maybe bring in some sort of reality to it. I'll be interested to see, what they do with it. I've seen a few things that Bevy Goldberg's put on Twitter and I occasionally communicate with her. So I'll see if she can tell me what the crack is. Just breaking some very sad news that popped up just a few moments ago on Facebook. The actress Jessica Walter, if anybody watches Arrested Development, she played the mother of the incredibly crazy Bluth family, has just passed away at 80.
Aww.
And she was just, I really liked her as an actress. She was brilliant. She was also in Played Misty for Me, which is a Clint Eastwood film that I love. Very messed up, but a brilliant film. But people are dropping like flies. But I guess the reality is 80 isn't bad innings. 87 is very good innings. But we always want our heroes to live forever, which is the sad reality, isn't it?
I think that's it, isn't it? You've summed it up definitely there. I suppose in a way, though, that, I mean, obviously they're not going to be alive, but they will live on in TV programs and film and music for the musician ones and stuff like that. So at least in some ways you can, like if a celebrity dies, it's sad, but you've got a lot of back catalogue that you can sort of refer back to. So you can see them at any point. It's kind of like if it was a loved one, yes, okay, you've got photos and potential videos or whatever if you've got them. You do feel like that person's missing out of your life a lot more than, like a celebrity icon kind of thing. It's still sad though, still very sad. And it
is.
I liked her in Arrested Development as well.
But going back to George Segal, however you want to pronounce his surname, my favourite story about him is nothing to do with anything I knew about him, but it is the impact he had on Kevin Smith and Kevin Smith's family. Have you heard this story?
I haven't, no.
So Kevin Smith was invited to give the speech at George Segal's Walk of Fame, unveiling for his star.
Okay.
And he said, I wanted other comedians, but, they died. So I decided to pick you. And Kevin Smith's very interesting story links not so much into the acting as you would think on George Segal, but the fact that George Segal was really, really liked by Kevin's mother.
Okay.
He commented on the fact that when they were kids, his parents had been out to the cinema and they came back and he could hear they were in a bad mood and they were arguing. And he was a bit shocked and he went and listened to because I think they went off into the bedroom and were arguing, and he listened at the door and he heard his dad going, "Well, Grace, if you like George Segal so much, why don't you go and fuck him?" And there was a film that came out called Roller Coaster that Kevin wanted to really see that had George Segal in, which I now really want to see myself.
Yeah.
But I kept forgetting to look for it. But now that he's passed, I'll have a look for it. It sounds a strange idea, a film about a man who's a roller coaster inspector and all this weird stuff that goes on with it. But his dad was obviously so hurt by this and the love of George Segal that he initially wouldn't let him go and see the film.
Bless him. Is he related to the other seagull man?
No.
Okay.
I do not believe so. But years later on, Kevin was working on something that George Segal was on. So, he was talking, so he went back and he was sort of saying, there was some comment about George Segal, and his father says, Grace isn't funny anymore. He works in the industry, could bring the guy home. At the unveiling of the Star, his comment was, how good an actor must you be if you can haunt a 30-year marriage?
Did she ever get to meet him, I wonder? His mum,
I can't remember if she did. You would really hope so.
Yeah.
You would really hope Grace would have got to have met him, or at least had some connection, because obviously he worked with him when he directed The Goldbergs.
Yeah.
And he directed some bloody brilliant episodes of The Goldbergs, some of my favourite ones. So, yeah, I would hope that'd be the case.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well,
what a guy.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Big bucket of wind, as Kevin Smith. Wind. Big bucket of win, as Kevin Smith would say.
Yes. Well, thinking of Roller Coaster, the film, bucket wind could be right, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to also love watching him in a program called Just Shoot Me,
right?
Where he was like a magazine editor. It was on, I think like the early 2000s. It was pretty good. Mm-hmm. But yes, he's always been a good comedic actor, and I'm sure Salty Tadpoles or somebody will be able to correct me. I think he might be an Oscar winner.
Oh.
I think. I'm not 100%, but I'm sure he's an award winner of some sorts. He was very good at what he did. So I take my hat off to both George Segal and Jessica Walter, wishing them well, thanking them for all the wonderful things they've done, and wishing them the peace in the afterlife, if you believe in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I shall wish them all the best and thank them for their body of work they've left us.
I don't think you could say that any worse or any better. Because you did butcher it a little bit.
Yeah. Pat me on the head. He's gone mad.
But he's trying. So that's the thing. He's trying.
Very true. Very, very true.
So, James, do you think we should get into some stories of the week and kind of, it might be a little bit of a shorter episode this week, but still it's been a fun one, I believe. We've cheered James up even just slightly.
It is. We can make some history. And that'll make sense when it comes to my next story.
Oh, did you want to go first then, or shall I go first?
I'll let you go first because I'm intrigued to hear yours.
Okay, no problem. So I've been sitting on this one for a little while, so hopefully it is a good one. Lucky woman finds a lump of whale vomit worth £185,000 while walking along the beach. This lady stumbled upon the unusual mass in Thailand. I was going to say the place, but then I changed my mind and decided she would drag it back to her home half a kilometre away before realising it was valuable.
Mm.
Yeah. Now, this is from the Mirror, so we are likely to repeat ourselves here. A lucky woman found a huge lump believed to be expensive whale vomit washed up near her beach house.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. That's what you want to see, isn't it? Vomit of any form. She was walking along the beach after a rainstorm when she noticed the strange mass in a place in Thailand on the 23rd of February. She walked up closer to the substance to have a look and found it had a fishy smell. Thinking it could be something she could sell, the 49-year-old dragged it back to her house, which was about 500 metres away from the beach. Is that quite far?
That's pretty far, yeah. That's a reasonable distance.
I suppose if you're dragging something as well, any distance is pretty far, isn't it? So
this is true.
The oval-shaped lump weighed 7 kilos and was about 12 inches wide by 24 inches long. Based on previous sales, the weight would give the vomit, also known as ambergris, AMBERGRIS. I think it's ambergris.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do. Basically, also known as whale vomit.
Nice.
Nice. An estimated value of around £186.5 thousand. So that's a pretty good find, isn't it?
It's pretty good. What do they do with it, though?
Let's see if we find out.
I'm all for the idea. I can see somebody somewhere will get a use of it, but I'm intrigued what it could be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did scroll on to see if I could work it out, but the lady said, if I really have the genuine ambergris, I can help my community once I find a buyer for it. Obviously with the money. I feel lucky to have found such a large piece. I hope it will bring me money. I'm keeping it safe in my house, and I have asked the local council to visit to check it. The woman asked her neighbours for help identifying the object and was shocked when some of them told her that it could be the rare substance. To further check whether the lump was actually ambergris, which again, everyone, if I'm saying that wrong, correct me, but today it is that. They held a naked flame to some of the parts of it, which caused it to melt, which you wouldn't want to do, would you? Because it'd be like your money, that could have been the other half of 1,000, couldn't it?
I also envisioned stench, if I'm honest, so...
Well, yeah. It then hardened again after it cooled down. The waxy lump also had a fishy smell, another indication, according to neighbours, that she had found a genuine piece of ambergris. By the way, every time I'm going and saying she, it's because it's saying her name, but I'm pretty sure I can't pronounce it, so I'm just going with she. Now, this one is actually a she.
Mm-hmm.
She is now waiting for experts to visit her house to confirm that the lump is the whale vomit, which has been valued for its use in perfumes for years. So there you go. It's used for perfumes.
Ah, okay.
Ambergris is produced by sperm whales. I knew that sperm would be involved somewhere.
Usually is, let's be honest.
Yeah. Ambergris. God, I sounded really Dorset then, didn't I? Ambergris is produced by sperm whales when bile ducts in the gastrointestinal tract make secretions to ease the passage of large or sharp objects. The whale then vomits the mucus, which solidifies and floats on the surface of the ocean. Sounds very appetizing. That's the end of the story. So,
Well, I mean, it's educational. Can't say we've not been educational for this episode, Salty Tadpoles.
No, definitely.
Whale vomit.
Yeah. Right. You tell your story, and I will update you as to what the product, what the
Well, puke is used for.
Yes, exactly.
My story is slightly less, I was going to say moist. So
No, it's not moist because that was hard, so.
Almost then.
Yeah.
So a teenage girl was horrified to discover a venomous snake had inside her asthma inhaler. No surprising what country this is. The teen was bringing her washing yesterday at her home in Bly, Queensland, Australia, when she spotted a red-bellied black snake slither out of the clothes she'd just brought inside. She wasn't sure exactly where it had ended up until she noticed it curled up inside the open top of her blue inhaler.
Bloody hell.
Fortunately, the girl called a team of snake catchers who managed to safely capture the reptile and rehome it. Red-bellied snakes are frequently found on Australia's east coast and are responsible for a number of bites every year. No human deaths have ever been recorded, but their venom can cause serious symptoms, including bleeding, vomiting, abdominal pain, headaches, diarrhea, and muscle weakness or pain.
Oh, God. That's horrible, isn't it?
It is. After the discovery yesterday, Sunshine Coast snake catchers wrote on Facebook, "You will not believe this. This is crazy," and we're super lucky we're able to find this snake. Team member Stuart McKenzie told 9 News, "It's one of the most incredible places we've ever found a snake before. I couldn't imagine what it would be like picking it up and discovering it there. I think I can. Terrifying."
Yeah. I'd see the colour of fear, definitely.
While the snake was only a juvenile, Mr. McKenzie said it could still give a nasty bite if scared or provoked. He added, "They're just exploring, seeking food this time of year before it gets cold again." We found them in all sorts of places. Just recently, we had a snake become stuck inside the tubing of a screen door.
Ooh.
Red-bellied snakes are native to eastern Australia and are commonly found in forests, swamps, and some urban areas. They usually grow up to 2 meters long and eat mainly frogs, other reptiles, small mammals, and fish. And being the Metro, that's where it ends its article.
Yeah. Woo!
So all I can say to that one is, Struth.
That's good. You have to teach Ralph Garman how to do a Australian accent because he can't do one at all.
Other than saying Struth, I'm not sure what else I would be able to say. I'll have to work on my Aussie, see if I can get it.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, it's better than Kevin Smith's weird version where he does like a Michael Caine impression. The size of a tangerine.
Well, that's very similar to Ralph's as well, to be fair. So.
One is Cockney, one is Australian. Come on, people. I mean, I appreciate that there is a similarity because Australia is all full of the criminal progeny from the UK.
Yep.
But different countries now. Different countries.
Only just, though. Right, so...
That's true.
My update before we head off. So, ambergris is mostly recognised for the renowned and unique qualities it can contribute when used in the product of perfume and fragrance, much like musk.
Nice.
Yeah, so they did reference perfume, so that's probably what it is. It's collected at sea and on beaches and originates from a sperm whale, which we already know that. It carries on to tell us about what we already know. And, this is going back in time, but ancient Egyptians burnt ambergris as incense, while in modern Egypt, ambergris is used for scenting and flavoring cigarettes. In recent history, the tobacco industry was the largest consumer of ambergris, and it is still used in high-end pipe tobacco and natural cigarette tobaccos.
Wow.
Yeah. There's actually quite a lot here, to be honest.
I'm impressed. And now I understand why it's worth probably a lot, well, not probably, why it's worth a lot of money, because clearly it's got a lot of properties that we probably wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, exactly. So another little snippet as well, and then we'll sort of move on from it as well. But during the Black Death in Europe, people believed that carrying a ball of ambergris mixed with herbs and spices called a pomander, that looks about right, could help prevent them from getting the plague. This was because the fragrance covered the smell of the air, which it was believed was responsible for the outbreak. There is a few more, but, they're all pretty much the same. So there's not really anything else that's kind of standing out to me that's like really wow. But yeah, I'm glad I picked that story now. So we now know what ambergris is.
Sweet. So if you want a quick fix, hang round ill Wales.
Yeah, and that's not the country.
Nope.
Although I'm sure they're full of spam too.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Well, on that note then, James, I think we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I, as ever, have been James. I'm slightly traumatised by sperm whale puke, but, rock and roll.
Rock and roll, baby. Yeah.